kind of divide Malagasy food into two things in my mind. There's the everyday food, which is rice, and you'll have a big bowl of rice, and then there's a loke, and the loke is the word for like toppings, what you put on that rice. And there's a bunch of different types of loke. There's beans is super common. There's fuanzuburi, which is these really big peanut tasting beans, and they're super delicious. That's my favorite loke. Then there's ravitutu, which is crushed leaves, boiled. Some missionaries like it. It's not a huge favorite. Then there's anana, which is stuff. Translates to stuff, which is just green stuff. That's actually one of my favorites. And then often they'll eat it with beef, maybe a little bit chunks of meat, and not just meat. They'll have a lot of fat mixed in too, which some missionaries actually really loved it, and some missionaries really didn't. They just want the flesh. What is that called? The meat. The meat. So that's like the everyday food. That's what everybody eats. Pretty much every meal. Just rice with some kind of loke on top. Then there's the fun food, which is the street food. Madagascar has awesome street food. They have nems, sambos. Nems are kind of like egg rolls, a little bit similar to egg rolls. They're just deep fried rolls with whatever kind of vegetable or jed inside. Then there's sambos, which I think came from India because I've seen them in like India restaurants and stuff. But it's just kind of the same thing, but it's a triangle. Then there's mesquite, which is like a kebab, just like little pieces of meat. And they grill it right there in front of you. You tell them you want however many you want, 10, 20. And they're like 2.5, 5 cents a piece. So you'll go buy 10 and spend 50 cents and just eat a bunch of meat. There's mufakunju, which is bread, battered banana. It's like bananas dipped in like a cake batter, kind of, or like a bread batter, and then deep fried. So it's like this gooey, mushy banana. Super delicious. I don't know, there's a bunch of other stuff. You gotta be careful. Only eat it when it's hot. And don't eat too much, or your stomach is not gonna forgive you. But yeah, just as a snack, it's awesome. So I kind of like to try anything that is given to me that's edible. I'll at least try it. There's one thing that's called Fromage De Tete. It's cheese of the head, and they'll take like a cow head or something and boil it. Just a cow head, and they'll boil it, and all of the oils and fats and hairs float to the top. And then they take it and cool it so it's cold, and then they'll chop it up into little cubes, and you eat it. And I don't like it plain, but it wasn't bad on a sandwich. So on a piece of bread with some lasari, which is carrots and vinegar. So they do like to eat chicken feet, which is pretty good. I mean, the texture, you got to get used to the texture, but the flavor is really nice. And then I had they often boil chicken heads and eat those, and they'll just cut the head off, feathers and all. Don't waste time plucking anything. Boil it, and then they'll set it out on a plate, and Not a big fan of the chicken head, but I did try it. Wasn't able to eat it in one whole bite, so I had to chomp through the skull and eat half of it at a time. But it wasn't bad. I tried it once, and now I don't have to ever try it again. So I'm sure there's... I mean, they eat every part of the animal, so always eat, in the United States we're picky, we only eat the muscle, the flesh, the meat. But no, in this place we eat everything, every part.